Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the United Stand. I'm back from the States, back in the studio. It does feel good. The weather feels shocking, but we'll get over that because this is the last week now. Your last Monday morning with, well, basically no Premier League football. That's what we're talking about, the build-up. There's absolutely loads to get through today, though. All your news is right here, right now. A new centre-back from Manchester United. Is Maguire actually leaving? We've got updates on Donny, Fred, Pellistri, Henderson, Bayer. Varane has been talking some serious words about player fatigue and well-being of players. There's a bit of a debate going on as well, and I'll get your thoughts on that. I'm going to bring you some insight into what happened on tour, some stuff that hasn't been talked about yet, my insight into everything that's gone on there. But guys, most of all, it's the interactive show. I'll get your comments in the comment section. I want to know what you thought of the tour. I want to know what you think about all these headlines, the pre-season, the players, who's going out, are we going to see players leave? It's all going on right now. But first, it does feel good to be back. And I just want to use this opportunity now just to say thanks to everyone for all your comments, all your well wishes and everything that was on the tour. It was pretty much hellfire. It was just full throttle all the way through the States. It was just game after game, travel all over the place. Time zones, as took a few days just to get back to normal, sort of recoup, jet lag and everything like that. But it's back now and it is full on build up. The Charity Shield is gone. Not the Community Shield, I'm old school, we'll call it the Charity Shield, shall we? It's gone. The last pre-season game is gone. All that's left to do now is get some player issues sorted, some transfers in, possibly lots to go out. And this week on the training ground with Ten Hag, full preparation for the weekend, which is finally back this weekend. It has seemed long. I thought after last season, the amount of games we'd have, it actually would feel nice to have a bit of a break, but you can't live without proper football. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Guys, let's get into it. I mean, we'll start with the news this morning. You've probably seen it on the tweets. Fabrizio Romano has been at it, as he always is, bright and early on a Monday morning. I feel like he just gets everything. He gets the ball rolling completely and everyone just follows straight off after him. But he's reporting about the Nice centre-back, Todibo. I'm going to be honest, for a team that low down in League 1, I've not really done much. I've looked at what I can of Todibo. I don't know much about him, I'm going to be honest. It's a player that I feel would not be coming straight into the first team. Kind of just sways my interest away from feeling anything for this signing at all. But I think what the big thing is around this one and why this is of interest to a lot of Manchester United fans, it's all off the back of what actually is going to happen with Harry Maguire. I'm going to set the poll off straight away. I'm going to go into Romano's tweet, but I'm going to put a poll up in the chat right now asking, do you feel like Maguire will actually leave? It's a simple yes or no, 2 answers. Can you see him leaving? After what's been said and everything that's gone on the tour, yesterday's performance, we'll get into that as well. Can you see Harry Maguire leaving? The poll is up in the chat now, everybody. Get in voting on that one. I want to be interested to see what your thoughts are in terms of how you actually see the situation with Harry Maguire and where you actually see him going. We know he was interested. We'll get into detail on that. But just to bring up the actual tweet, what Romano said about this, and what he said is, Manchester United contacts have been informed of conditions of Jean-Claire Todibo deal. No bid or talks on at this stage as an option. Could only be activated if Harry Maguire leaves Manchester United. And that is the point I want to get into right now. It all depends, and the whole summer has been based around what happens when players leave Manchester United. Now, when you look at it right now, what are we at? Around about £140 million spent so far on players. About 22 recouped in mainly Telles and Elanga and them deals. Obviously, we sold Zidane Iqbal, we've got rid of Charlie Savage, obviously, as well. Ethan Laird. I think we managed to scrape about £1.5 million together for them deals. So really, in terms of money recouped, we're nowhere near where we need to be. In terms of money spent, I think we're at our max right now, going off reports before the start of the pre-season. So United, around about 140 million already spent. It's time to get rid of some players. Obviously, this is hampering deals coming through now. We'll get into the midfield section in a minute and what's needed there and players to come in. But we're talking here with Romano that Manchester United are looking at a centre-back in Todibo only if Harry Maguire leaves the club. Now, Harry Maguire leaving Manchester United is, well, it's the biggest if, but, or maybe you can ever have at a football club. He plain outright just wants to stay at Manchester United. I was talking on the radio the other day about Harry Maguire and how he is after he lost his captaincy. So we've seen all that. It doesn't seem to have deterred him one bit. And I'm saying this just from my own personal sort of look from the tour and everything like that. You've seen him walking off, you've seen him in mixed zones, he seems calm, chilled, relaxed. There's no stress in the man whatsoever. Even, you know what, this is the thing with him. Since he had that, when we had that announcement with Maguire losing the captaincy and it going to Bruno Fernandes, he seems to have just had like a weight taken off his shoulders. This is off the pitch, by the way, people. Obviously, on the pitch, it's a different matter. But you look at it and you go, wherever you are, I'd question Harry Maguire personally right now. I've got nothing against the man. I've got nothing against his attitude towards wanting to stay at Manchester United. Why wouldn't you? Let's be honest. He's a United fan, and if I was in his position, I would probably be doing exactly the same thing as what Maguire is doing right now. I'd be doing everything in my power to not leave Manchester United. So I can't really fault him on that side of things. But where I would is the professional side of it. And I would say, like, you know you are fifth choice. Fifth. It's not a second choice. It's not third. It's fifth choice behind the left back as well. And the club are looking to move players in already for when you leave. So is that not the biggest tell that the club don't want you? No one's going to say it, because no one at Manchester United, and we know this, no one at United is going to come out and say that Harry Maguire, we want gone. No one's going to come out and publicly say it. You're not going to get any statement, you're going to get anything like that. It's just going to be reports and media speculation regarding what's been leaked and what's been said. But Maguire just wants to be at Manchester United. But I question that big time. I question that. And I said this for both Harrys, Kane and Maguire in the summer. I question both players in terms of where they want to be, where their career is. Because Harry Kane needs to move away from Spurs. That's not going to happen now. That's another year gone without a trophy. There's no guarantee he's going to get the club he wants next summer either and get them trophies. Like, move on. Get on with it. You know what? Take your career to the next level. Harry Maguire, you're at a stage right now where you know you're not in the reckoning for this season ahead. Your international manager has told you you have to be playing games. You're not going to get them games at Manchester United. Lindelof is ahead of you, and so is Luke Shaw. And then our best centre-back partnership in over a decade is now at the club in front of them two. So you're not going to play this season unless it's a game like it was yesterday, a second-string game, maybe a low-key Carabao Cup game. You're not going to get a Champions League game because that's going to be full strength as well. You'll be lucky if you get a low-key cup draw in the FA Cup, and that's all you're getting. I'm questioning Harry Maguire right now. Tracy Taylor with a super chat says he should go, but he won't. His pay would. Oh, so you're saying, would you on his pay? I pretty much just said why I wouldn't leave Manchester United because I'm a fan and that. And yeah, his agents will be talking now. From what Tracy have said there, it basically is what I said in terms of Harry Maguire doesn't want to leave Manchester United. He loves it at the football club. His agents then into him saying, look at the wages you're on. You're not going to get them anywhere. Put it all together in the mixer. You've got a cocktail of stubbornness and just riding out that contract. Pretty much like every single high-profile player is doing right now. You look at what Rashford did. I'm not saying what Rashford did was right or wrong, but he played his card. He'd run it down. The club had given him the contract beforehand. He'd run it down, and then he holds all of the cards and he's in the power position. Mbappe now, look at that situation there. Harry Kane, look at that situation there. This is the same. Harry Maguire is nowhere in the calibre of that player, but he's in the same position right now where he's on a wage that he doesn't necessarily have to leave Manchester United. He's not kicked up a stink. He's played everything perfectly. He's accepted the captaincy being taken off him. He's come out with a professional statement and all of that. And it all just leads into the fact that Maguire is just going to dig his heels in here, and the club is the one that's going to have to make the move on it. Is David Moyes going to go? Is he going to go in with a higher bid? Because it does look like David Moyes is a front runner from West Ham. Although we are hearing now that Everton are in for Harry Maguire. I think he's a perfect signing for Everton, honestly. Sean Dyche, David Moyes, I'm just looking at them two going, wow, yeah, they're exactly where Harry Maguire would fit right in. He would be the perfect player for the way that their managers play. That type of solidness, staying in games, battling it out, being rigid, being solid, plenty of players at the back, dealing with crosses. He's perfect for Harry Maguire. Manchester United right now, and you can see the way Ten Hag's moving, it's not working that way. Todibo, in terms of the player coming in, if Harry Maguire does leave, I'm going to be honest, like I said at the start, I think it's a sort of nothing story because I don't think it's relevant to the first team right now. He's not replacing Maguire. He is just coming into a squad. If you're replacing Harry Maguire, then I expect a centre-back to be coming in to challenge for a first-team place. This is just a player that's going to be bought cheaply and I feel will just be a squad player, another one, a fourth centre-back. Everyone talks about how many centre-backs you need at the football club. Everyone's talking right now about squad depth. It is what's needed in the Premier League these days. And for me, I just feel like, honestly, if I had to say, I'm just going to bring up the poll right now before we move on. 61% of you are saying yes now Harry Maguire is going to leave Manchester United. You're confident he's going to be going. I look at it and I just say Everton and West Ham in the frame right now. I feel like these stories are coming out from the football club. I think they're just being leaked out basically to push Harry Maguire further out the door. I feel like it's just more and more, without saying anything, putting movements in place that are going to convince Harry Maguire that his best interest is to be away from Manchester United. Welcome to the Members Club, Turkish Don. Super chat in here from Grant Fisher. Why are we not taking advantage of loaning players out to the Championship more with players like Alvaro and others? Ahmad did well in the Championship. That, honestly, don't discard that, Grant. I think that is probably what this week is going to be all about now. I feel like moving forward, now that pre-season is done, you usually see a lot of action once teams are back in the country and getting prepped for the season ahead. So I expect a lot of movement within the loan market and transfers going out of Manchester United this week. Yeah, we're hearing about possibly Amrabat this week, and we're hearing, which I'm going to go into next, in terms of Danny van der Beek and Fred. Scott McCormack, my birthday today. Adam sought Kane as my present. I wish, mate. I wish. You have to accept Highland. Happy birthday, Rob. He's been a constant in terms of super chats on the United Stand. Thank you for all your support and all your involvement in all of the chats all the way through the year, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Have a great day. Not far away from my birthday, actually. My birthday, is it next week? Yeah, it's next week, actually. So, yeah, not far away from mine. Good month. Definitely started the season vibes and everything and all that. Maguire is the least of our worries, mates. That's a super chat from Enjoy Writing. Least? Oh, I think there'd be plenty of people disagreeing with you there. The fact that he could hamper any more players coming in, would you say he's the least of our problems then? I would differ. Cheers for the super chats, guys, as always. Get your comments coming in on this, on the Maguire situation. Obviously, get voting on the poll as well. But I do want to move across to the midfield area. And maybe that's where that super chat is aimed at. Least of our problems in terms of what we actually need at the football club right now. Because we've got players. And I want to probably just go on to Pellistri actually next. Because a lot of people, me, myself, have been bigging up Pellistri. Obviously, we spoke to him on tour. He has been very vocal about his love for Manchester United. But I just wanted to go into what Romano said in terms of Pellistri. There's noise, and we were told on the United Stand yesterday, friendly at the Aviva, that he will be going out on loan. And FC 20 is the favourite destination. There's a big Ten Hag factor, I think, in that there as well. But Fabrizio Romano, understand Manchester United are making progress in talks to extend Facundo Pellistri's contract. New long-term deal is the priority before letting him leave on loan. FC 20 are pushing to have Pellistri on loan until June 2024. Manchester United will decide soon. So in terms of Pellistri, the reason why we haven't had any movement as of yet is they want to, at the club, confirm the new contract extension for Pellistri. That's good news. I think he has a bright future at Manchester United. You heard Beth's vlog after the game last night. I was the same. And for me, I just feel like he's a player that when he comes on the pitch, he always has an impact. He's direct. He's positive. He's one of them players that you can't feel negative about. The only negativity about Pellistri is the lack of game time for him. And it's like, I just want him to be playing in that first team. Sadly, we have got players who are playing quite well on either wing at the moment. I mean, two of my favourite players from the tour were Anthony and Garnacho, either side of that striker that's just come in now in Highland. So, yeah, you can see with Sancho being there as well, and obviously Rashford probably being pushed out to the wing. Bruno plays on the wing as well. Is he going to get ahead of them under Ten Hag and what we know of Ten Hag right now? Probably not. I'm stuck with him. I really want him to get game time at Manchester United, but I don't think he's going to get it. I really don't. With Ten Hag and knowing how he is and how he picks his teams, Pellistri, I feel it's inevitable that there is going to be a loan, and this pretty much confirms it. I personally would not let him go out on loan. I want him at the club. I want him on the bench this season, and that may be selfish of me saying that because he could get game time and progress even further. I cannot get the Garnacho vibes out of my head from Pellistri. I just feel like there's going to be that moment when he comes on off the bench and just absolutely blows everyone away. He's on the cusp of that now in what he's doing and how positive he is. Everyone in the stands when now is there last season was raving about him. His performances when he came on, his involvement in goals even. I just feel like he's a massive, massive positive. He speaks really well off the pitch. I mean, you've seen the interview we did with ourselves in the mix zone in Las Vegas. He's positive, and I feel everything about him is good and is. I think I tweeted it out. I just feel like this player is United. I feel like there's a lot to come from him, and I don't even feel like we've not even scraped the top of the iceberg yet with Pellistri. I just feel like he's that player that's just ready to go, ready to burst. I feel like if he goes on loan, which he is going to go, I can see an Ahmad type of loan where he just completely tears it up, whether it's FC20 or wherever he goes on loan. I can just see him shining. I'm going to change up the vote actually in the poll. I just want to know what you guys, because I'm going to go and stop the messages in a minute. I'm going to freeze the page on the comments and actually bring up some of your comments. But I just want to put a poll out there. By the way, Harry Maguire, 62% of you with 5,000 votes. Cheers, guys, for that. Saying that he will leave. You're confident he is going to leave. I'm happy with that. I think we'll change the poll right now and just bring up, would you loan Pellistri or would you keep him? I'm just going to change that and put that poll in there right now for you guys. That should be up in a few seconds. I'm just going to say, Pellistri won't be happy to be sat on the bench, says Savage. I understand that. I agree with you, Adam. I'd keep Pellistri to give him 20 minutes each game and let him play some cup games, says Chris. Yeah, that could be... That's where I'm at with him right now. I just feel like that cup game and that appearance in the cup game could propel him into Ten Hag's thoughts. Maybe Ten Hag is thinking he knows this. Get him signed up to a contract. Show your intent to keep him long term, and just say, look, go out on loan. This season might not be it. I just don't think he wants to deal with the dilemma of then upsetting a good player like Pellistri by not playing him after he's actually played well, because he's always going to go with Anthony first, I feel, or Sancho, or Garnacho, or Rashford on either wing right now. So I just feel like Ten Hag is managing. I think that's what he's having to do. He's got an abundance of talent. Let's not forget, Ahmad is back. I know that we'll talk about that maybe if we get time later in this show, about the injury news and the update there. That could be longer than what we thought. So that was where I was thinking Pellistri might have a chance if Ahmad isn't going to be available, because we were talking like he was going to come back into Manchester United's fold this season. But with two first-team wingers, you would say, either side right now, I can't see how he gets in. But Ten Hag, I feel he's just managing the situation, and he's managed a lot of things really well. I think his hand is forced with Pellistri. I don't think he necessarily wants him to go, but I do feel like he has to let him go. The intent from the club and Ten Hag sitting down with Pellistri and talking to him about this new contract is probably going to give him enough incentive to go, okay, I'll go out on loan this season, and then I'll come back, and hopefully next season I can make that spot. I can make that Manchester United starting lineup, or get on that bench consistently. I feel like that is where we're at with him. Super chat from Ladi says, I think if Pellistri goes out on loan, it should be a short-term loan where we can get him back in January when we need more squad depth. I mean, that's a fair point there, because obviously in January, Ten Hag wasn't backed last season, and he had to perform miracles with the squad that he had to get us into that top four, and where we got to in the end in the Europa League and all the other cup competitions. 2 finals, quarter-final, 1 cup, on that squad with no extra investment, just loans. And also Sabitzer was brought in, and obviously Weghorst, debatable again. Sabitzer was injured 3 times in his 6-month loan spell to Manchester United. Weghorst obviously wasn't up to the quality that we needed, so we would definitely put that in the category of Ten Hag not being backed. And I understand the super chat there from Lydia. I think it's short term. I just don't think it should work that way. every time United do a loan, I feel like it is a long-term one. I'm just going to get through a few of your comments now, just on Pellistri. Let me see. It says, why literally about to give a contract extension? Why would we sell him? We're not talking about selling him. Pellistri is one for the future. High hopes, says Tony. Let's just see. If we're keeping Ahmad, it's logical Pellistri should go out on loan, at least till January, and then have a look at him again, says Rory. Another one there saying, basically, short-term loan, make sure we've got an option in January where Pellistri can come back if we need him. I just feel like that's not good enough for the player, to be honest. I feel like that isn't going to suit him. He needs stability right now and he needs consistency, I feel. If he goes out on a short-term loan, that means, again, then if it isn't going to happen for him and we don't need him in January, he goes to another club, he's being moved from pillar to post. Honestly, I don't think that's right for Pellistri right now. And I feel like for the player himself, it's unfair. I think he deserves regular football. I think he's playing well enough to get regular football. So I feel like Pellistri, it is going to be a season-long loan. FC20, like Romano says, is favourite at the moment. Loan Ahmad and keep Pellistri. That's from who's that? Rage Siande says that. Let's play a game. And fiction, it's all fiction. Pellistri is way stronger on the ball than Ahmad, says Jake. Pellistri keeps the ball well, he looks after the ball. I think his composure, and something I brought out in that game he played against Dortmund in Vegas, and then again he showed yesterday against Bilbao. He's had plenty of game time and has shown off, and for me, he's up there, one of our best performances from pre-season. Ten Hag said this at the start. He said there is a player that stands out in pre-season that always makes his mark. I mean, the poll right now from you guys, 64% that you want to keep Pellistri, 36 sending him back out on loan. That's where we're at. I mean, I think everyone wants to keep him, but there's an understanding. No, Siri, I don't need a loan from the bank. We're talking Pellistri. Garnacho looks incredible so far. Yeah, I mean, the options are there, aren't they, in that forward line? And I think Pellistri ultimately is going to be ending up going out on loan. I think he'll accept that. The new contract will look good, and maybe next season will be the one for him. Sadly, because I do love the guy. Moving on, more news, more outgoings. Simon Stone talking about Donny van der Beek as well. Now, Real Sociedad. He's basically saying, Simon Stone, that Ten Hag has just had enough with Donny. Let's be honest, he scored that goal in Edinburgh. You're thinking, all right, let's push on from here on the tour. And as more first-team players came back into the squad over the US part of the tour, the realisation just clicked in, and it was there again. It's like, Fred's not even involved in this tour. We've got Mount, we've got Bruno, we had Kobe Mainu playing more games until his injury, obviously Casemiro. And you just look at it and you go, Eriksen's there. Donny's not going to get a chance. No matter how well he plays in pre-season, Donny van der Beek is just not going to play for Manchester United. He's had his chance. Good chat there. Adam, ask Siri for $6 billion loan. Yeah, good one. That's the chat of the day so far. Someone's saying Todibo is brilliant as well. Don't know enough. 9th in what league in? Kind of differs to that, but obviously that might be the rest of the team as well. But back to Donny. Poor old Donny. I mean, everyone feels sorry for him, don't they? Simon Stone isn't wrong in what he says. Ten Hag, definite left. And Ten Hag doesn't... He talks with his feet, doesn't he, Ten Hag? He says things without saying them in his actions, and where he has players in the squad, who starts, where you see players in relation to starting games of importance. Donny van der Beek is never going to be up there. His injury, I think, did completely put the final nail in the coffin last season. You're thinking pre-season... I went into this pre-season thinking Donny van der Beek has to really show something to get a move away. I was fully convinced that Donny was done, even if he played well in pre-season. And he had that little bit of hope there. It's like, yes, you could see the emotion in his face in Edinburgh when he scored that great goal. All good and well. And then, like I said, the reality just hit me smack bang in the face as soon as the US tour started. It was like, yeah, there's just like so many players ahead of him. Mason Mount, Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, all in ahead of him in them positions. Kobe Mainoo starting games ahead of him. There's 4, 5th choice. If United did bring in another central midfielder, Donny's gone. That's facts, innit? We know he's finished and he's not going to get anywhere near that starting lineup for Manchester United. It's a shame. I love him. We spoke to him a few times here on United Stand. He's always got time to talk to us, but Donny's career at Manchester United will be one of them unknowns. He came in, we had hopes. He looked like the type of player we needed. He looked like that type of dynamic midfielder, but like many players that came in under Ollie's tenure, failed. And again, it will go down as one of them signings that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made and ultimately just cost United money, cost United time, and didn't work out. Simple as that. Another man next to him you can't put in that category, and I was talking about this the other day with people about Fred. Because the update on Fred is obviously there's a link between Højlund not getting a shirt number yet. We're thinking it's going to be 17 because United have told us that they're holding off on giving a shirt number, and Romano has reported on this as well to Rasmus Højlund because they're expecting outgoings this week. So this week apparently is the week that we can possibly see Fred out the door of Manchester United. First super chats in from SM to the R. Bam says, no new right back. Need that and more than the new midfielder. Do we? Right back, I think everyone's going overload on Dallow's mistake the other day. I'm happy with Dallow and Aaron Wan-Bissaka right now. I don't know what you guys think about that. I mean, I think central midfielder is a position that we need, especially if Donny and Fred are both leaving. So you look at how we finished last season, that would be Donny, Sabitzer and Fred, all leaving the football club. I'm only getting Mason Mount in. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's where we need another player. I feel like we're all right. We can survive at centre-back this season. My priority right now is, I'd be interested to see what you guys think as well. I feel like Manchester United need that extra midfielder, that central midfielder. We need another option in there. Amrabat would be my man. We'll touch on that in a minute, actually, because this leads off what the Fred news is. But yeah, we're expecting Fred to be out the door this week. Where he's going is a big question. Fulham have concrete interest in Fred. Galatasaray, we know, are struggling to pump up the money Manchester United want. There is a bid from Saudi as well, so there are multiple offers for Fred on the table, which ultimately puts United in a comfortable position. Fred is definitely leaving Manchester United. Romano has come out and said that himself. I think everyone at Manchester United knows Fred is leaving. The fact that he wasn't in the starting lineup yesterday tells you everything you need to know. There is a deal that's going to be done probably this week. I just couldn't actually tell you which team it is he's going to. I'm looking through news and trying to figure out what's going on. And I feel like Fred, honestly, I couldn't tell you which one of the three. Could be Fulham, could be a Saudi League, could be Galatasaray, but he's definitely going this week. And rumour has it, Højlund will get the 17 shirts. I remember another famous United striker getting that shirt first of all when he first came to the club. Big United legend. Let me know who it is. There's a question for you. Who started his career off at United with that number 17 shirt? Who was it? The striker. Big striker as well for United. Played a big part in a lot of United's success. See who's got the knowledge of who that was. I'm having a look at the chat. Yeah, you're already in it. The chat's got it. Some proper Reds in the chat this morning. People, yes, Jimmy, you are right. Super chat in from Mbad says, I have not seen Mount have anything more than Van der Beek. I have, to be honest. It's sort of work off the ball that Mason Mount has impressed me with. I think there's more to come with him on the ball and a bit more creativity with him, but I feel like Mason Mount has got to give a little bit more there. But off the ball, I think his work rate, his tenacity, his pressing has been unbelievable. And I've just seen that close up, and that's just my own opinion. Obviously, everyone will gauge their own opinion for Mason Mount as time goes on. From what I've seen up close and personal, yes. It was Andy Cole, by the way, everybody. It was Andy Cole. So, yeah, maybe there's an omen there if Højlund does take that 17 shirt off Fred and then goes on to be Manchester United's number 9. I just feel like right now, I just want him in the team. I just want to see an actual striker on the pitch. because another thing that we've got to take out of this pre-season is the fact that where the hell is Martial? I mean, come on, Tony. It's like we had 2 full games to play and he wasn't anywhere. I'm looking around and going, I wasn't at Old Trafford or in Ireland. Obviously, it was Faz and Beth this week. So I'm like, I'd have been looking around, I've been asking people, where is Martial? Has he had another occurrence of an injury? He has had, he's there, he's training. He's close to coming back. Where is he? Surely he could have played a little bit. Oh, I mean, I'm like, where is he? What's going on? We're hearing, obviously, this morning, Romano's talking about Manchester United will take offers for Martial. He's on that list, but this is where I worry with it in terms of United actually getting deals over the line. Romano has been very, very clever in how he's actually said this. He said he's in the Scott McTominay bracket of Manchester United saying that they can leave. They're in no rush to get rid of the player, but if the right offer came in, it won't, then that player can leave. Martial is going nowhere, honestly. On them wages and his injury record, we have just got to pray as Manchester United fans that this man comes back and hits some of the heights that we know he can hit. Honestly, I'm sick of talking about Martial and the negative, the situation more than the player and the man himself. His injury record frustrates the hell out of me. I'm sure it does him. He was all smiles behind the scenes on the tour. Even spoke a few words let on to us at times in the mixed zone. It seems comfortable. And I'm thinking, it's a happy Martial. That's what I want to see. Can he play a part this season? I have my major doubts. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is with him. He's just one of them men. It's like I keep bigging him up and he keeps knocking me down. He doesn't, but his body does. Where was he? Like, I've heard nothing from the football club. I've not seen anything or any reports of where Martial actually is and why he wasn't even involved. If a Saudi club comes into it, I can see a few of you in the chat saying Martial could possibly be off to the Saudi League. Who would take Martial right now? That's the question. And this is why I don't think Martial will be leaving this summer. I think United ultimately need another striker in. We've got Højlund, we've got Rashford as backup. If Martial is there, then I think that would see us through. You had the Mason Greenwood situation to it. There's news and stories, and we're hearing a lot that Mason Greenwood could be coming back into Manchester United. There's going to be more on that as it comes. I feel like this week is a massive, massive week for Manchester United. A lot of decisions and a lot of announcements being made. We've just been talking about Maguire there, possible centre-back coming in, Pellistri's contract announcement, squad number for Højlund because Fred's left the football club, Danny van der Beek leaving the football club, what's happening with Mason Greenwood. There is a big, big week ahead of the start of this Premier League season this weekend, and I think every United fan just needs to hold on to their hats and be prepared for a few announcements. Amrabat coming in off the back of possibly Fred and McTominay leaving. Big week ahead, and obviously the build-up and the excitement to the Premier League on top of that is just a little bit of excitement in the air with United right now. There's a lot going on. We're hearing stories that the takeover is still on, even though it looks like it's been dead in the water for like the last 3 months. Big stories ahead, big things coming up this week, but obviously I do feel like Martial, going back to what we were talking about then, is one of them that just, honestly, if you gave me 25 games from Martial this season, I'd snatch your hands off right now. I would. That's where my expectations are for Martial. I would snatch your hands up. If you gave me 20 games for Martial this season, I would take that right now. I think that's what we have to expect from Martial. I think we're nursing him, and again, this comes into what I just said. Where the hell was you over this weekend? Why was he not available? Ten Hag answered my question in the press conference in San Diego last month. Martial was in full training today. So what was that? That's like 10 days ago, in full training. Can he not get 10 minutes? It's a big week again for Martial, I think. And Ten Hag not having to do any media or press. 8 days of full training and preparation ahead of Wolves now at Carrington. This is Ten Hag time, and I feel like that's what he wants. I'm going to go into a bit of insight into Ten Hag and what I picked up on tour as well, but I just want to talk about what's been said regarding Simon Stone again said, buy it done, by all means, by any cost, buy it out the door. Simple as. There's nothing more to say about Eric Bailly. The club want him out. The manager's got nothing in his plans ahead for Eric Bailly, and the club will take whatever offer they can as long as it's reasonable and he can leave. So buy it done, move on. The goalkeeping situation at Manchester United is very, very interesting. One thing I picked up on the tour, I mean, Dean Henderson, I'm just going to talk. I have got an update on Dean Henderson for you guys, actually. It's come from David Ornstein from The Athletic in terms of Henderson. David Ornstein says, Forest still want Dean Henderson. There's a few other people picking up on this story now. Discussions ongoing. An appearance clause has been the crux of negotiations in terms of where Dean Henderson is moving with Manchester United. Nottingham Forest and the reports that we're hearing are a little bit uncertain with that thigh injury. That I think it was a grade 2 tear in his thigh, which kept him out the whole of the second half of the season. They've been wary about that, and that's why they've gone down the road of getting Turner in from Arsenal and now looking at getting Henderson in as well with a loan and obligation to buy. But there's an appearance clause that's been negotiated within that contract right now between United and Nottingham Forest, which has been the issue and the hold-up, basically, i.e. the crux that David Ornstein from The Athletic has been talking about there. It does look like we are not going to get any money for Dean Henderson as well, which is a bit of a kick in the sack, to be honest, because that would have gone very handily into financial fair play, being an academy player and pure profit, and obviously giving us more money to spend on players we actually do need this summer as well. So that is a bit of it's a kick in the sack, to be honest. If it is a loan, the obligation to buy, I think, is something that has to be a minimum in this. I can understand the issues that Forest have got with Henderson. You're committing that much money to a goalkeeper knowing he possibly has got a recurring problem or an injury issue. You're going to be a bit scared about making that move permanent, surely. And I understand that, and I understand where Forest are coming from, and I understand the loan side of things. United have to stand strong and firm on this. There has to at least be an obligation to buy Dean Henderson, and then we can look and balance our books next season. And financial fair play runs into that. If we've got Dean Henderson full profit, a good season in the Champions League, the extra money that's coming in for that this season as well, next summer we could actually give Ten Hag that war chest that he really needs. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't expecting 140 million spent now, with only 22 million in the incoming box. That's even gone over my expectations. I mean, we were all buzzing with just over 200 million spent last summer. We're only 50 off that now. And by the time that this transfer window shuts, our money spent will be just shy of 200 million again. And that's if Amrabat comes in. So you look at that and you go, United actually have done well and probably deserve a little bit of credit behind the scenes for the transfer activity this summer. Cue the nasty comments. I know anything positive about United right now is being slapped back at me with, how can you say that they have done well after everything that's gone on, Adam? Just look at what's there in front of you. So far, I am buzzing with the signings we've made. They've backed the manager again, and it's positive. Yes, we've got to get some deals done this week, like I said, but ultimately, I look at it and I'm going, it's not bad. It is very, very, I can't say not bad, and it is very, very good. But yeah, I would say I'm happy with everything so far. If we get Amrabat, then I feel like that's been a good window. I think it's players in positions we need. Dean Henderson, sadly, isn't going to be part of that. He will be leaving Manchester United, and this is where I wanted to get into what I seen on tour and how our manager Erik ten Hag is. Dean Henderson was on Manchester United's tour, believe it or not, and the only way people actually know that he was actually there was that picture of the players when they went out for a meal in San Diego. I think it was Mount, Maguire, I can't remember who else it was. Luke Shaw was there, I think Pellistri was there, I think he was. You all know the picture I'm talking about, and everyone's looking at the camera. And then in the background, you've got one man there just looking away. He wasn't even posing for the picture. It was like he was embarrassed to even be part of the squad. Because this is what happens when you upset Erik ten Hag, I feel. To go on the tour and actually have no involvement whatsoever, well, that's kind of damning. That's damning on Dean Henderson's part. Ten Hag has said there's no man bigger than the manager at Manchester United. Them comments, that interview, what Dean Henderson said last summer, have come back to really bite him on the arse. They really have. Because we watched open training. His involvement was minimal. Every single match day, you're looking at Heaton, Bishop, you're looking at Vitek, Onana. No Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson's involvement this summer, and there was plenty of opportunities. Even in the Wrexham game, you had Bishop and Vitek ahead of him. So when you look at it, Manchester United, what did we have? In this pre-season tour, we've used 5 goalkeepers, and Dean Henderson hasn't been involved once. That's Ten Hag factor. That is what we're dealing with. That is our manager, people. That's how hard this man is. This is exactly what Manchester United needed. I mean, I kind of feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for Henderson. I do at the same time. It's like, yeah, that is being hung out to dry, but don't be a stupid. Don't be an idiot and come out with stupid comments. This sets a tone that I feel everybody will be like, well, yeah, there's a man in charge right now and there is zero player power at Manchester United. Look at what Ten Hag has done in one year pretty much at the football club, and you cannot be anything but excited about what he's accomplished and the new culture at Manchester United. Ronaldo, best player that's ever walked the planet, scored more goals than anyone ever at Manchester United. See you later. No prima donnas at this football club. Harry Maguire, captain. No, don't care what your price tag is. Done. Dusted. You look at Jadon Sancho. Ten Hag took him under his wing. He did what he wanted to do with him. He took him away for 2 months, then brought him back. And now you look at Dean Henderson. Wow. That's, like I said, 5 goalkeepers used. Dean Henderson wasn't one of them. That's Ten Hag saying, you will not be doing your Dean Henderson things. You won't be talking. You will not have any power while I'm in charge of Manchester United. That, for me, is brilliant. I want my manager to be that way. Ten Hag just does things his way. The tour, when he came in last season, was already set up. He came into United after the tour had been announced. So he had no say on anything. He wasn't happy about anything that he had to do. You could tell. The press officers came to us last summer and said he's not happy with the amount of media involvement that he's having to do. This summer, you could tell it was a Ten Hag tour. Bang, 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 done. Everyone's home, back at Carrington pretty much instantly. He was involved in the under-21 game against Wrexham. He dealt with that. He moved across to every single game, quick fire, done within 2 weeks. That was that. Then he's managed to get 2 games done in a weekend. And I know there has been a big uproar this weekend in terms of the Irish fans and how upset they've been for the prices they've paid. Obviously, the game at the Aviva was announced before the one at Old Trafford with... the pre-season game we played at Old Trafford, and then we went to the Aviva. So the Aviva game was announced before, so everyone bought the tickets thinking that's going to be the game where everyone's there. All the first team's going to be playing. Everyone did it, and I understand the unrest and everyone being upset about that and having to watch the second string. There were still some good players there. Let's be honest. There were first team players there playing. I mean, Wan-Bissaka, Sancho. You're going to see Lindelof this season. I'm not trying to make an excuse here for you and just try and make it sound better than what it actually was. I do understand the grovels from everyone who had paid in advance, and apparently the tickets weren't cheap as well. I know Laurie Whitwell from Athletic did a piece on that this morning on rest, but Ten Hag doesn't care. I'm just going to tell you this now. We was going to be interviewing a player actually at open training. We had it all set up. I think it was going to be a first team player at open training in San Diego. And you could just tell Ten Hag, for me, deliberately ran the training late and he ran the training over. So the players had no option to go and do anything. It was just the written media stuff that had to be done as that's an obligation. So anything extra that could have possibly been done, and the club were trying to do it for us, Ten Hag basically went, nah, I'm not doing that. Again, didn't so much say no, but his actions speak volumes in Ten Hag. The training went way over what it should have done. It was an open training. Fans were watching. Ten Hag doesn't usually give anything away in them training sessions, but for some reason that one went over. It started late because the players needed to catch a plane to get over to Las Vegas. And that then just went over. Oh, sorry, no time, guys. Really apologise. We can't do it now. Away they go. he doesn't let them players do anything that they don't want to do. The club obviously have an obligation to speak to the media and give interviews and the right information. It's the same with every single club, but Ten Hag has definitely made a difference at this football club in how he is, and you can tell. Although he did soften the blow by buying us a Starbucks coffee and a cake. So no player interview, but cheers for the brew, Eric. It was much appreciated, especially the caffeine kick with all the travelling. But yeah, also when answering questions about the travelling and whether he thought it was a good thing, he actually said it wasn't a problem. He just gets on with things and gets them done. I was going to check this poll. It's still running for the Pellistri one, actually. I think we'll finish that up now. Over 6,000 votes is enough. 67% is saying Pellistri should stay. Don't loan him back out. But yeah, cheers for your votes on that one, guys. I did want to just bring up another poll before we finish. I want this one to run to the end of the show. So, guys, this next poll is going to be best player in pre-season for you. I've earmarked 4. Leave a comment if you want as well, special request or whatever, a player that I've not picked up on here, but ones that I thought played well in pre-season. So best player in pre-season for you is Sean Moore, Garnacho, Pellistri, Antony and Sancho. Sancho has been getting a lot of praise this pre-season tour. I haven't been as big on Sancho. I do appreciate the effort in trying to do a different role, and I can see what Ten Hag is trying to do. I'm just a big advocate of round pegs, square holes. I hate it. I hate jack of all trades. I'd rather have a master of one and that player constantly be in that position. It's just me and my opinion, but a lot of praise has gone Sancho's way this summer. And you know what? Rightly so. He has had some good moments as well. So I can see it. And he is already up there on the vote. He's in second place right now behind Garnacho. United, I mean, everyone's loved Garnacho. I was gutted when he wasn't playing in the Dortmund game. Obviously, he looked like he was well at it in the Real Madrid game. And then again, back that up at Old Trafford. He looked sharp. I cannot wait for Garnacho this season. I really cannot wait. It is going to be a hell of a season for him to look forward to. I feel like there's just so many positives in the United lineup right now. And like I said, Mason Mount will come into his own. I'm looking forward to getting consistency with Onana at the back as well. It all looks very positive for United right now, and I do feel like we're going to go out in that Wolves game and the turmoil that they're in right now and everything going on. I think we're going to smash Wolves to pieces. I just got that feeling it's going to be one of them opening day games like we did against Leeds United that season a couple of years back. We just go out and smash someone. I know, I kind of curse it, and obviously I don't want to do that. But commentators curse and all that, it's just one of them things. But you look at it and you go, everything looks positive for United. You can't help but feel like we're going to go out and win that game. Yep. Yeah, in terms of everyone getting excited about Roy Keane and that little leaked video with a whisper in my ear there, it's just about announcing the third kit. Nothing else. Keane is involved in... Yeah, you can forget anyone who's actually made a comment about being sporting director for Roy Keane. Yeah, that's your head. Give it a wobble. It's not happening. Definitely not happening. Roy Keane isn't going anywhere near any role at Manchester United. He's involved, however, in the third kit launch that is coming this week as well, guys. So stay tuned for that one. I did want to talk before we finished up. Obviously, we're talking about a busy season, and I can't go and do a full live show without bringing up something that one of our players has tweeted out from a personal point of view as well, and that's from Raphael Varane. He has hit on something that has been talked about quite a lot. Varane on his concerns about what's happening with the extra time that's going to be played this season. Obviously, we've heard that there's going to be a new way of time being added on in the Premier League. The referee board have said that every minute will be counted. I've seen umpteen journalists go on about this already. Simon Stone was the first one that I read up on this morning. He was going, Varane echoing what Pep Guardiola was saying yesterday after the Community Shield, in that there's too many games. And now we're talking about players playing more games. Henry Winter himself was saying, in terms of logisticals, people are going to miss trains if games are going on for 10, 15. If you think about it, you could have you could have a situation where the game goes on for an extra 20 minutes. That's a lot in a night game for people who are travelling around the country. They don't seem to think about this at all. It leads into, obviously, a little bit about it being more important about players, about fans and their entertainment value rather than the player welfare. I think that's what Varane is going on about. He's talking about longer games because of the added time on and everything like that. They were told by the FA, Varane is saying, that they need to just accept, or they've been recommended to go along with what the referees board, the referees union are actually saying, which is that it is the way forward. It's fairer for everyone. Everyone isn't losing out on value for money. They're trying to argue the point that basically a third to half of games have not even been played on the pitch in terms of time. They're going to add it all up and they're going to just make sure that everyone gets their full value for money. And Varane's come out and said, obviously, that's all good and well, but what about the players? What about the fatigue? I just want to give my best performance for the team. This is a man who is just coming up. He's in his late 20s, just about to hit 30. He's already had to retire from international football because of the fixture pile-up and everything that a player has to do in his season. We've seen the injury record for Varane. We sort of cringe every time the man goes down. When you get to that sort of age as well, recovery times aren't the best. You can totally see why Raphael Varane is going in hard on this one. It's not only him, and obviously we all back our players. We're backing Varane on this statement. I think it's fair. I think that value for money is one thing. Yes, I understand that, but you want to see the best players. And if these players are not being able to perform to the best of their ability because there's so many games, then that there is another problem on its own. And I feel like that's where Rafa's going with this one. I feel like he's just in doing it. And honestly, I feel like it's just money. It is all about making money. If you're at the game longer, you're going to spend more money. I just don't see the benefit in it at all. The extra time thing, just prime example yesterday. Arsenal dead in the water, not having an attack. 11 minutes of injury time, and bang, back in it. Trophy won. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy where they're going with it. And obviously the World Cup, we covered the World Cup here on That's Football, and you could see like every single game was going well over 100 minutes, and you add that all up. If you say you had 95 plus 100 minutes every single game. United played 62 games last season. Ten Hag doesn't like to change his squad that much. This new rule only hampers Manchester United, I feel. Why? For an extra few minutes. It is what it is. Football has always been the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is what I say. And I'm completely behind what Rafa has said in all of this. Just going to read through a few of your comments just before we finish up. Do you think the players will be affected by the number of games they played last season, like it happened to Liverpool? Yep, last season. I mean, fatigue is always going to kick in. Ten Hag is massive on player preparation. We've seen it. I feel like we were ahead of Arsenal in that first game in the US tour. I think our fitness was better than them. I feel like we've seen a lot of... I think he's managed it, so I'll use that word again. He's managing situations. He's managing everything superbly, Ten Hag. And I just feel like looking ahead, he's got his players in the best condition they can possibly be in right now. And the fact that we've got everyone to select from going into the start of the season, barring the likes of Ahmad and the unknown of Anthony Martial, we've got to be happy that this pre-season has got us ready for the season. Whether or not, how long the season runs on and we run into issues there, then that we'll have to deal with that as it comes. But again, it's why we need the big squad. And why I said we should be looking at investing into our midfield again. We were about to lose 3 of what we finished with last season in terms of Sabitzer, Fred and Donny. I feel like we do need another midfielder in alongside Mount as well. Just going to bring up comment there from Guy. Says, Beth and Mark ranked Ten Hag signings so far as 1 to 7. What do you... what would yours be? I think I'll finish on that one, Guy, actually. In terms of Ten Hag signings so far, let's say Mason Mount. If I'm marking him out of 7, is that what you're saying? Yes, so 1 to 7. Right, okay. Mason Mount, I would say, is a 6 for Ten Hag and how he wants to play. The way that, and the amount of work that that man does off the ball is on a par with like what Bruno does. And it's only going to help us this season playing more Ten Hag ball. Everyone has said that this season we need a way of playing. We need a philosophy. We need to know a style of play and what Manchester United are about. I feel like Mason Mount helps us bring that. I think that brings us closer to Ten Hag ball. I would go Onana. Definitely is a 7 out of 7 for me in terms of how we need to move forward. I think it is an upgrade in us and how we want to play again. And obviously Højlund, I'm going to have to put that down as a 5 out of 7, simply because he's still not the finished product. I don't think he's going to start every single game either. So I feel like that would definitely turn into a 7. There's still that unknown, but I am confident that that will move up there. In terms of all of them overall, altogether, I would say so far, actually I'm going to mark the window out of 10 right now for the players that have actually come in so far. Right now, I'm at 7 out of 10 for this window, as it is right now. All them players will improve Manchester United from last season, and that's what we wanted in the first team. Obviously, I just talked about Højlund there, maybe starting here, there, and everywhere. I just feel like over the season, he will give us more than what we had last season, definitely. If we bought an Amrabat in, then that's an 8 out of 10 summer for me. I'm walking into that season very, very happy. That's where I'm at. Guys, let me know what you think. 6.55, 5.5, strong. Yep, 6, not enough. Deadwood left. Again, Deadwood, if we got rid of Fred, Donny and Maguire, would you guys then say, with Amrabat coming in, that is a 7, 8 out of 10? Let me know if you think that would be more. I mean, there are players out there that we could have bought, but it just didn't work out that way. Guys, but that pretty much sums up everything that's going on right now. Stay tuned to the United Stand, obviously, for any updates. We'll be back today at 2 o'clock. I am back tomorrow with Adam Talks. I'm going to be sitting down with another journalist for you guys who... This is a man that actually sat down with Ten Hag and had an intimate conversation with him only 10 days ago. So we're going to get some insight into that and what he's thought of everything that's happened with United on tour and going into the season. And obviously we may have some more breaking news to bring you tomorrow. So back tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, Adam Talks. I'll be back then. Obviously, stay tuned for everything else that happens today. We'll bring you all the breaking news. We're back at 2 o'clock later on. Guys, but that is it. Super chat quickly from Robert McCormack. Happy birthday again. They rank them best signing in order out of 7. Don't understand. I'm going to leave it because they haven't got enough time. I'll try and do that again on the show tomorrow. But Rob, absolutely brilliant. Have a good birthday. Cheers for all your super chats and comments, guys. Give the video a like on the way out, as always. Subscribe to United Stand. Hit that bell notification button so you get all your updates in these last knockings of the transfer window and the build-up, of course, to the Premier League this weekend. Cheers for watching, everyone. We'll see you this afternoon.